Your mind is the real battlefield. The real war isn't out there in the world. It's right between your ears. Every single day, from the moment you wake up to the second you fall asleep, you're fighting against that voice that tells you you're not enough. It tells you you're tired, that you can't do it, that it's too hard, too late, too painful. It tells you to stay comfortable, to quit early, to take the easy way out. That voice is the true enemy, not the people around you, not your circumstances, not your past. You've been blaming everything outside of you when the real problem has always been inside. That voice has been holding you hostage, convincing you that mediocrity is safety. But the truth is, that comfort is a coffin for your potential. The mind will test you harder than life ever will. It knows your fears, your weaknesses, your insecurities, and it uses them against you. It knows exactly what to say to make you stop. It knows how to make you doubt yourself. It knows how to make you forget how far you've come. That's why you can't negotiate with it. You can't reason with that weak voice because it doesn't want your success. It wants your surrender. It wants you to sit down and shut up while your dreams fade away. You've got to learn to fight that voice with discipline, with purpose, with action. You've got to become louder than the doubt, because the only way to win that war inside your head is to starve that weakness of oxygen. Every time it says you can't, you say, watch me. Every goal you've ever quit on started in your mind. Every plan you never followed through with began as a thought that told you it wasn't possible. The mind creates the limit before the world does. That's why people quit long before they fail, because they lose mentally before they even begin physically. You've got to change the way you think before you can change the way you live. You've got to train your mind like a muscle with repetition, resistance, and relentless consistency. You don't build mental toughness by avoiding the fight. You build it by walking straight into it, by doing the things that scare you, by facing what makes you uncomfortable until it no longer controls you. Every time you push through the pain, every time you ignore the voice that says stop, you grow stronger. You take back territory from that weak version of yourself. You prove that you're in control, not the fear, not the doubt, not the fatigue. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort, but that protection is poison. It's trying to keep you safe, but in doing so, it's keeping you small. You have to be willing to step into the mental fire and burn away the weakness that's been built from years of easy choices and excuses. You've got to understand that your mind can be your greatest weapon or your worst enemy, depending on who's in control, you or the voice. Most people never lose to the world. They lose to their own mind. They let thoughts of failure stop them before failure even happens. They talk themselves out of greatness because they're afraid of the work, afraid of the pain, afraid of being judged. They don't realize that pain is just the admission price for strength. That struggle is what molds you. That doubt only has power if you give it power. Your mind will create 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't keep going, but you only need one reason to continue, because you said you would. That's how you win the battle in your head. You keep your promises when it's hard. You show up when it's uncomfortable. You stay consistent when no one's watching. You keep proving to that voice that it no longer runs your life. When your mind says you can't, that's when you must. When it says you've done enough, that's when you push harder. When it screams for comfort, that's when you go deeper. Because the moment you stop listening to that weak voice and start commanding your own mind, everything changes. You stop being a prisoner to fear and become a soldier of purpose. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop living by emotion and start living by decision. The real battlefield isn't in your circumstances, it's in your thoughts. Win that battle, and there's nothing left in this world that can defeat you. ChatGPT said, 𝐊𝐈𝐋𝐋 is a teacher, not a punishment. Most people spend their lives running from pain, avoiding struggle, hiding from discomfort, and then they wonder why they stay weak. They treat pain like it's something unfair, like it's life's way of picking on them. But pain is not there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. Every single time you suffer, your mind grows stronger, your spirit hardens, and your character becomes sharper. Pain isn't the enemy, quitting is, because pain is temporary, but quitting rewires your identity. When you walk away from the hard things, you teach your mind that it's okay to back down. But when you stay in the fight, when you endure the storm, when you take the hit and keep moving, you teach your mind that you're built for more. Pain is the greatest teacher you'll ever have because it doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth. It doesn't flatter your ego, and it doesn't give you shortcuts. Pain strips away every excuse, every weakness, every illusion of who you think you are. It reveals your limits, then dares you to go beyond them. The problem is, most people never stay in pain long enough to learn the lesson. They want comfort more than growth. They want progress without pressure, strength without struggle, greatness without grit. But it doesn't work that way. Pain is the tuition you pay for power. Every rep that burns, every failure that stings, every heartbreak that breaks you down. That's life teaching you something. The question is whether you'll listen or run away. You have to start looking at pain differently. When something hurts, when things fall apart, when life hits you in the gut, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because pain is always trying to tell you something. It's telling you where you're weak. It's showing you where you need to grow. It's exposing the parts of you that are still soft, still scared, still uncommitted. You can't hide from it because the longer you avoid it, the more control it gains over you. But the second you face it, head on, unflinching, it loses its power. Pain only dominates those who run from it, the ones who stand tall in it, who breathe through it, who walk through the fire instead of around it. Those are the ones who rise. Every time you suffer and don't quit, your mind builds armor. You become harder to break, harder to discourage, harder to stop. You start to realize that pain isn't there to punish you. It's there to prepare you. Every setback becomes a setup for strength. Every failure becomes a lesson in endurance. Every heartbreak becomes a reminder that you can survive more than you thought. The pain you're feeling right now is shaping the version of you that you'll need for the battles ahead. The stronger the pain, the more valuable the lesson. But most people will never know this because they're too busy trying to avoid the very thing that could change them. You have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the secret, because the ones who learn to live inside pain without losing their focus, those are the ones who win. When everyone else runs from the fire, you walk into it. You understand that every second of discomfort is a deposit into your future strength account. You learn to thank the pain because it's making you better. It's teaching you patience, resilience, humility, and power. Pain is shaping your character in ways comfort never will. Comfort keeps you soft, pain makes you sharp. Comfort builds excuses, pain builds endurance. Comfort hides your potential, pain reveals it. You don't grow when everything feels good. You grow when everything hurts. You grow when you're exhausted but still move. You grow when you fail but get up again. You grow when you push past the point where your body says stop and your mind says no more. That's where transformation happens. Pain doesn't show up to destroy you. It shows up to introduce you to the strongest version of yourself. Every scar you earn is proof that you didn't quit, proof that you stood your ground, proof that you chose to learn instead of surrender. Pain doesn't make you weaker, it burns away weakness. And the more you face it, the less power it has over you. Pain is a teacher, not a punishment. The world has trained you to believe that pain is something to avoid, something cruel, something unfair, but that's a lie. Pain is not life's way of hating you, it's life's way of training you. Every time you suffer, every time you struggle, every time you go through something that breaks you down, your mind is being conditioned for strength. Pain is the classroom where warriors are made. It's not glamorous, it's not pretty, and it's not easy, but it's necessary. Because without pain, there is no growth. Without pain, you stay the same. Without pain, you never build the mental calluses needed to survive when life throws real chaos your way. The reason most people stay stuck is because they run from pain instead of learning from it. The second things get hard, they back down. The moment it burns, they stop. They think pain means something's wrong, but in truth, pain means something's working. Pain is progress in disguise. It's the pressure that forges your potential into power, but that power only comes if you refuse to quit. The ones who escape pain too early never discover what they could have become. The ones who stay in it, who take every ounce of it and turn it into fuel, those are the ones who evolve into something unbreakable. Pain is not your enemy. It's your initiation. Pain will expose every weakness you try to hide. It will strip you of comfort, ego, and illusion until only the truth remains. That truth might hurt, but it's real. Pain doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care how tired you are or how unfair life has been. It's there to test your limits and teach you who you really are when everything comfortable is taken away. When you're in pain, you meet the real you, the one who either fights or folds, pushes or quits, grows or gives up. And when you choose to keep fighting, that's when transformation begins. That's when pain stops being a punishment and becomes a teacher. You have to understand that every scar, every disappointment, every sleepless night is shaping something inside you. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes the reason you can handle anything. The suffering that once made you question everything becomes the foundation of your confidence. That's how pain works. It breaks you down to build you stronger. It dismantles the weak parts of you so the strong ones can rise. But if you keep escaping it, if you keep choosing comfort over challenge, you'll never evolve past the version of yourself that's scared to suffer. Growth doesn't live in comfort, it lives in resistance. The gym of life is pain. Every rep of struggle builds strength. Every failure adds endurance. Every loss adds wisdom. The process hurts because you're being rebuilt. That pain you feel right now is not there to punish you. It's there to prepare you for what's next. The more pain you endure with purpose, the more resilience you build. Pain teaches you patience when things don't go your way. It teaches you humility when your ego gets loud. It teaches you persistence when the path feels endless. Every moment of pain is molding your mindset, shaping your discipline, crafting your toughness. You don't get these lessons from winning. You get them from bleeding, from breaking, from rebuilding yourself again and again. When pain comes, stop asking for it to end and start asking what it's trying to show you. Every wound carries a message. Maybe it's teaching you that you've been too comfortable. Maybe it's reminding you that strength doesn't grow without pressure. Maybe it's showing you that the version of you who survives this won't be the same as the one who started. You can't be reborn without first being torn apart. That's what pain does. It breaks your limits so your potential can breathe. Every tear, every struggle, every lonely night is proof that you're being refined into something powerful. Most people let pain define them, but the strong let it develop them. They use it as a mirror, not a wall. They understand that the hurt is not permanent. It's a process. They don't run from it. They lean into it. They know that pain will end, but the strength it gives them will stay forever. Pain teaches you more about yourself than success ever will. It humbles you, hardens you, and teaches you to keep moving when everything in you wants to stop. Pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every time you survive it, you become wiser, harder, stronger, sharper, and more alive. Accountability is your weapon. The moment you stop blaming your past, your parents, your boss, your circumstances, or your luck is the moment you take your power back. As long as you keep pointing fingers, you're giving your strength away. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall that separates you from the person you're supposed to become. The truth is harsh but simple. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's responsible for your failures, your pain, or your broken dreams. It's all on you. And that's not a punishment. That's freedom. Because once you realize it's all your fault, you realize it can all be fixed by you. That's what accountability does. It gives you control. The weak run from accountability because it forces them to face the mirror. It's easier to say, life's unfair, than to admit, I didn't give it everything I had. It's easier to blame others than to confront your own laziness, fear, and hesitation. But you can't grow inside lies. Growth only happens in truth. Accountability is that truth, the kind that cuts deep but heals stronger. Every scar on your body, every failure in your story, every broken promise you've ever made to yourself is a lesson written in pain. When you take ownership of those scars instead of hiding from them, they stop defining you and start refining you. Accountability means saying, this is on me, not because you love guilt, but because you crave growth. It's understanding that every result in your life, good or bad, is a reflection of your choices. If your relationships are falling apart, look at how you communicate. If your body's out of shape, look at your discipline. If your dreams are dying, look at your work ethic. The world isn't against you. It's responding to you. Everything around you is a mirror reflecting your standards, your effort, and your focus. You can't change the reflection until you change the person standing in front of it. Accountability forces you to stop waiting for luck and start building your own. People love to say, it's not my fault. But every time you say that, you're choosing weakness. You're choosing to stay stuck. You're choosing to surrender control over your life. Because if it's not your fault, then it's not your responsibility to fix it. And if it's not your responsibility, then you'll never do the work required to change it. Accountability is about owning the ugly truth that most people avoid. You are where you are because of what you've done and what you failed to do. You've made choices, and those choices have created your reality. That doesn't mean you had a perfect start, but it means you have a choice in how you finish. When you start taking accountability, everything changes. You stop wasting time feeling sorry for yourself. You stop blaming the world for your pain. You stop waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity. Instead, you create one. You build one. You grind until it happens. Accountability is what separates talkers from doers, dreamers from executors, the weak from the strong. The ones who win in life are not always the most talented. They're the ones who take full ownership. They look at every failure and say, that's on me. I'll fix it. They don't make excuses. They make adjustments. They don't cry about what they can't control. They master what they can. Accountability means owning every scar. The scars remind you that you've been through battles and survived. They remind you that you're not fragile. You're forged. Every mistake, every rejection, every moment of doubt is a mark of experience. Stop hiding them. Wear them as proof that you're still in the fight. Those scars tell the story of someone who didn't run, someone who didn't quit, someone who took responsibility for the pain and turned it into progress. Accountability transforms failure into wisdom. It turns pain into strategy. It turns regret into resilience. When you stop blaming others, you start building yourself. You stop wishing for an easier path and start working to become stronger. You realize that nobody owes you anything, and that's what makes every win taste real, because it's yours. Earned, not given. Accountability is the foundation of freedom. When you own your story, no one can use it against you. When you own your decisions, no one can control your direction. When you own your pain, no one can weaponize it to break you. Accountability isn't about punishment, it's about power. It's about saying, everything in my life is my responsibility, and meaning it with your chest. That's the mindset that builds discipline, strength, and unstoppable growth. Turn darkness into drive. The same energy you waste hating yourself, doubting yourself, and drowning in regret can be turned into the fire that builds your comeback. The same emotion that keeps you stuck can be the fuel that sets you free. You've spent too long beating yourself up for what went wrong, for who left, for what you didn't do, for the chances you missed, for the mistakes you made. You replay the past over and over, torturing yourself with what ifs and should haves, as if punishing yourself will somehow make it right. But it never does. It just keeps you trapped in a loop of misery and self-blame. That darkness inside you, the anger, the shame, the pain, it's not meant to bury you. It's meant to build you. You have to understand that your pain carries power. The hurt that made you cry, the failures that broke you, the moments that made you question your worth, all of it has potential. You can use it. You can flip that darkness into discipline, that shame into strength, that doubt into drive. But first, you have to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your story and start realizing you're the author of it. You have the pen in your hand, and every second you're alive, you get to write a new page. The past is not your prison unless you choose to stay locked inside it. The only thing keeping you there is your attachment to pain that's already done its job. Pain taught you. Now it's time to use it. Darkness can either consume you or sharpen you. It depends on what you do with it. You can let it drown you in self-pity, or you can use it as proof that you can survive anything. You've already been through hell, and you're still breathing. That means there's still fight left in you. Stop wasting your energy trying to erase what happened and start using that same energy to become unstoppable. Every time you think about what you lost, use it to push harder. Every time you remember your failures, let it remind you that you're still standing. Every time the doubt whispers in your head, let it trigger the beast inside you that refuses to die. You've got to learn to convert emotional pain into physical action. You can't think your way out of darkness. You've got to move your way out. Take that anger and hit the gym. Take that regret and grind on your goals. Take that heartbreak and build something with it. Every ounce of pain you've ever felt can become progress if you redirect it. The people who win aren't the ones who avoid darkness. They're the ones who know how to use it. They've learned that the same fire that burns you can also forge you. It's the same heat, but a different purpose. You don't get stronger by pretending you're fine. You get stronger by facing what's ugly and turning it into something powerful. You take the voices that tell you you're nothing and use them as motivation to become something unstoppable. You take your mistakes and turn them into lessons. You take your insecurities and use them as reminders of what you need to improve. That's how you transform darkness into drive. You stop letting it control you and you start using it as fuel. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You don't wait for someone to save you. You use the pain that's already inside you and make it your power source. Every comeback story starts in darkness. It starts in silence, in loneliness, in frustration, when nobody believes in you, not even yourself. That's where the real warriors are born. The darkness gives you two options: stay broken or build again. And the choice is always yours. You can let it suffocate you, or you can turn it into your oxygen. You can let it convince you that you're done, or you can use it to rise from the ashes stronger than ever. The energy is the same. It's the direction that changes everything. All that anger, all that sadness, all that frustration, it's energy waiting to be used. Stop wasting it on self-hate. Channel it into your growth, into your purpose, into your mission. When you turn your darkness into drive, you stop being afraid of your past. You stop being defined by your pain. You stop being ashamed of your scars. You realize that every dark moment was preparation. Every breakdown was training, and every failure was a lesson. That darkness was never there to destroy you.